Hello and welcome. It's Amanda here. Welcome to Arts and Wellness Wednesdays. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm resuming my video on Wednesdays. In this time, we all need a way to connect with one another, and if a video, and it will be available on my podcast for you to listen to as well. So we all know we're in a kind of general state of emergency across the whole world, and where for Arts and Wellness Wednesdays, one of the things that I would share with you is events that are coming up. As I've said in previous podcasts, over this time what I'll be doing is seeing how we can be more connected, seeing how we can look at a variety of ways in which we can, if you are on lockdown at home, look at some activities. And so on my arts YouTube channel I will be doing more and more videos that will kind of show you different ways in which you can stay engaged, stay kind of, do some creative activities, as well as look at things that you may be hiding within yourself that you never knew. So it's a good opportunity. So I've got a list of things that are my recommendations for you to be more engaged and connected, and use this time to not only develop yourself, stay healthy, but also to connect with others who are either in a vulnerable situation, or just need additional assistance. So I've just been working on, and I've got some videos coming up, so I will share those, but I've just been working on some recycled projects that are some of the things that you can do. So I'm going to go through, I was writing a list of things that I thought was important, especially if you're staying at home, if you're, having to self-isolate, and even the self-discipline, but you do have to have self-discipline. So the social distancing that many of us have to, or have decided, that's really important. And for those of you who are not paying attention to directives, this is a really serious disease. And we can see the spread around the world, and we can see that the measures that have been taking place in different countries, and how countries have locked down, and how if you keep yourself, confined to a certain extent, then that eases the pressure on the healthcare. So there's two types of there's more than two types of people, but there are the types of people who, you might go to work or you work for yourself, but who have got a range of different activities that they do on a regular basis. And so if they come home from work, they go to this activity, they do it, they have different pastimes, different hobbies. And then you've got the kind of people who say their work might have been their life, their routine, or and so when they get home, they might, say turn on the TV, or they don't necessarily have a particular hobby. So when it comes to having to isolate yourself, or being a confined space with the rest of the family, you're not used to being there, and so you find it very difficult to manage that situation. And so for a lot of people, they will get stressed. There will be impacts on their health and well-being, and there will be an impact on their mental state as well. And so some of these things that I'm going to suggest are for both groups. The people who are more likely to have a range of activities that they can do, have books that they've always wanted to read, have things that they do whenever they get free time, they're going to be less likely to use, say, some of these suggestions. But there may be some tips here that you might think, oh yeah, I might try that. And as I say, as an artist, there are things that I will suggest that and pointers. So again, just like this, it's made from, what is it made from? It's made from pens. Yeah, so I've made a mini loom, and that's something, you know, if you don't have like art supplies, there are things that you can use in your space. So those are things that I'm going to be doing on my channel. And so, you know, if you want some ideas of things to do, it's all going to be about recycled projects and things like that. So, you know, check back, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and just connect and show and share the things that you've been doing. So the first thing I would suggest that you need to do is to have a structure and a daily routine. So if you are no longer working or having to stay at home, you have to have a daily routine, a structure, because you're used to having a structure. Because what you don't want to do is while away your time on binging on, you know, either box sets or Netflix or whatever. And it's not to say that you may want to watch a program or two as you relax, but having that routine that, you know, you do from start to, you know, to the end of the day, actually helps you manage the time that you have. The next thing I would suggest is staying connected with others. So use the technology that we have. Telephone, you've got the computer, you've got internet access, you've got Messenger. So use all of them in any way you can. A lot more people are creating videos, so there's a lot more entertainment that you can watch online. But, you know, definitely stay connected and check in on other people. So not everybody has a smartphone, not everybody has internet or Wi-Fi. So where possible, you know, I think the postal services are still running. So write a letter, send a postcard, you know, keep in contact with people, and you'll be surprised how that action will impact on somebody who, you know, may be on their own and may not have access to, you know, technology, but receiving a note through the door. Oh, that's it. Yeah, you know, if you can drop a note in through the door, do that. Again, within the directives that you've been given of going out, or, you know, again, staying connected with others. You may not be able to talk to your neighbour and, you know, hang out with them, but again, dropping a note through the door will help. As I say, writing letters, you know, is really important. Picking up a new skill. So this is a prime time to, if you do have to stay indoors, to pick up a new skill, a new language, learn an instrument. There are many free resources available where you can, you know, do an online course, whether it's a 4-week thing or a 2-week thing, or, you know, a couple of lessons. With Udemy, with Creative Live, there's what else? Creative Live, Future Learn, and there are others. I'll list those, the 3 that I've got. There's Open Culture or something like that, I think it might be called, where you can, you know, sign up for an online course and do it. I've got some courses that I'm going to be rolling out, some art courses, you know, working with pastels, and other little videos which I put on my YouTube channel for free that you can access in terms of, say, working with backgrounds, working with journals, making stuff. So there's so many things that are now available that wasn't available before in our parents' time, but we have access to them now, and we can make, you know, really good use of it. So again, as you're structuring your time, you might say, well, in the first part of the day, in the morning, I'm going to go and do some exercise, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do an online course and do some studying or do some working or reading. So try and see how you can structure your day so that you get the most out of your day, rather than, you know, 1 hour rolls into the next and you're wandering from room to room, cussing each other out because you're frustrated and, you know, bored. There is no reason why anybody should be bored at this time. And again, if you're in an environment where, say in the UK, you are allowed out for one form of exercise, make the most of that. So put that into your schedule so that, say, 4 o'clock is when you go out, or first thing in the morning, or whatever it is. So you do feel that kind of, you know, it's impacting on your health and well-being, and you're staying as healthy as possible. So whilst you can, you know, say do a new course, something that you've always wanted to learn, why not reconnect with something that you used to do? You know, you may have played an instrument before, but what you can do now is, you know, go back and pick up that instrument. If you don't have the instrument in your home, it may be that you think about looking at something else, or pick up an old skill, or things that you never had time for. Like, I'd love to be able to read a lot more, so that's something, you know, that I'm going to do. A lot of us have access to Kindle. You know, you can download books, so there may be books that you've thought, yeah, I've always wanted to read that, or I want to read that again. I've got loads of books like that where, you know, I've read them, I've loved it, and now at my age now would like to see how I reconnect with that, or is it how I remember it. So as I said, yeah, reading was on a separate note, but again, yeah, reading is something that, you know, whether it's the newspapers, again, looking at what essential services are still running, you do have, say, Kindle, or you can download Kindle on your phone, or there's another app that you can, you know, download books. There could be interesting articles that, you know, from some of these magazines that you can also download. You can download the newspapers as well now. So you have access to news. You've got access to, you know, the online news as well. Volunteering. So I was hearing that in the UK, they were looking for 250,000 volunteers to help deliver services where people are vulnerable, unable to, you know, access food or their medication. So some companies are doing free deliveries, but they're also looking for volunteers to help. So that could be something that you decide to do in this time, you know, volunteer and see where in your community you can help provide a service to help keep that community safe, that to help bolster up the what the healthcare workers are doing, and just to do your bit. And part of your, you know, daily walk, you could even do something for your neighbours, where it could be you, I don't know, write a little note of encouragement, draw a picture or whatever it is, and drop it in their doors. So that's something on your walk out as you do your exercise, you could be dropping in these notes of encouragement. So that's something that you can do. Follow the directives for exercise. Now, there may be some who being isolated is what they do. You know, it's just like they don't go out. But make sure in this time that you do actually make the most of being able to go out and do some exercise and to stay fit and as healthy as you can, even if it's just walking around the block and coming back. If you do have a garden space, make more of that, you know, use that. That could be an additional room, but you're getting fresh air as well. And then you'd also, with the weather becoming warmer, you'll be able to do more things out in the garden. And connect with neighbours in that way, you know, over the fence, okay, making sure you keep your distance, but finding ways in which you can utilise the things that you have in the best possible way. So here on my channel, as I said, I'm going to be sharing more creative projects. I think a lot of people find it difficult to think of things that they could do and work out ways in which they could be more creative. So what I will be doing is sharing how you can take the everyday objects that you may have around you and turn them into some creative use. And I hope that you come along for the journey with me. It's not everything that you'll be able to use, and you may have, you know, other materials that that can double up. Where the supermarkets are open and you go and you're able to buy food, a lot of the supermarkets also have like a stationery section, so most of what you might need additionally, generally speaking, is some glue. I have a glue gun and glue stick. You don't necessarily need them, but you know, some wool, some, what else? For each thing that I do, I'll kind of write a list and some alternatives. But if you don't have wool, can't access wool, you've got material in your home. You can, you know, cut up material, crochet with this material, cut it up finely in strips, or, you know, things like that. So I'll be looking at different ways in which we can utilize stuff that we have around us and be creative. I was also going to be doing a live, but I'll see how it goes first with the increased videos, and I will just see how it goes. I'm trying to manage again at the time, and I have done some lives, but I want to make the best use of the time that I have. And so if it's called for that you'd love to do a live, or for me to do a live, then I will. If you're caring for an elderly relative, especially those who are carers to those family members who are living with dementia, I will also be giving ideas in which you can either do it with the person that you're caring for, or ways in which you need to kind of just reset yourself and unwind. And having a routine is the most important thing that you can do for your health and well-being. I said using your green spaces. So if you've got a garden, if you've got access to a local park, remember about the safe distances that you need to. You don't want to have people congregating, and you can't at the moment. You can go out with your household, but you can only go in two people. Actually, so they said, you know, two people can go out. Anyway, so green spaces, use them, use your garden spaces. So what I also want you to do is connect on my other platforms. So there will be something daily. So, you know, if you're more auditory, I have the podcast, and this information will be available on the podcast. I've got the YouTube videos, the art videos, I've got the creative gardening videos, I've got, you know, I'm on Pinterest, and I collect boards and images of things that I'm really interested in and things that I'd love to try. So you can look at that. You can look at my Instagram, and I've just made a list here. Yeah, so Instagram, I blog, and will more than likely be blogging at least 5 times a week. IGTV, I'll be doing some insights. I've got some insights to share. Instagram, snapshots of what I'm doing. So you're going to be seeing images of this. You get to see it first. And some of the other looms that I've been making. Patreon. With Patreon, there's a free aspect to Patreon, and that's where I do some of the general stuff. But there's tiers which you can sign up for, which is more behind the scenes, is more, you know, you get more information and you get more resources and stuff that you'll be able to download. And I'll be kind of just ramping up those at the moment. So there's more that you can, there's more that there's available to you if you do choose to join a tier or pledge, or, you know, whatever. Twitter, I'll be doing quotes and inspiration, and my website, my normal website, you'll be seeing some of the art pieces that I've been working on, and what I'm going to do to make the most of some of the time. Although, you know, it's just like, this is what I normally do, and so I'm trying to do some additional stuff for you guys. Is share the stories behind the work, the stories that each piece of art has, the inspiration behind the work. and so I will be sharing more about that on the website. And finally, my Arts and Health Network. It's an online network where you can get information on the arts and the impact on health. And I'm a true believer, a strong believer, that participating in a creative activity can impact your health and well-being, and does impact. And that's why I'm creating every day. I'm always doing something which I feel that it enables you to express those things that you may not be able to verbalize, and especially in times where you're dealing with the effects of social distancing or self-isolation. You're dealing with the effects of, oh my gosh, we've got this virus rampaging through every country. I don't think there's any country now that hasn't felt the effect of, at least, you know, some people that have been diagnosed with the COVID-19, and take it in. So it's just like to stop and take it in. Oh my gosh, there has never been a time where we've had to do the measures that we've had to do. And so I find, well, I think that out of what's becoming clear is that, you know, people are working closer together, people are connecting, people are looking out for each other. And I think we have to do that even more. And for those people who've stockpiled and are now selling stuff that they've, you know, toilet paper and things like that for like $100 or £100, stop it. It's ridiculous. It's like, you know, how could you benefit out of the needs of others in this way? It's absolutely despicable. So I know that I was watching something which said, you know, Amazon are finding that, yeah, more and more sellers there are specific sellers who are now doing that, you know, selling like $100 this, $100 that, for things that you would buy, like, you know, a $5 packet of 4 toilet rolls, are now being sold for $100, and they're making money out of the misery of others and the needs of others. And you know, write a book, you know, sell your book, sell your ideas, you know, stop stockpiling stuff, masks, for goodness sake, you know, things that the medical profession and those services which we will all be touched by, which we will all need at some time, are desperately in search of. So yeah, so those were all the Arts and Wellness Wednesdays. So on a brighter note, just stay safe, you know, look after yourself, look after your health. This is the time to go out. This is the time to exercise, to look at, you know, there's online videos, there's, you know, things that you can do. Get the fresh air you need. Make sure you take that, you know, wherever you are. You know, if you don't have a balcony, and if you can go out, make sure you go out. If you don't have a balcony and you can't go out, open your windows. Stick your head out the window and take some fresh air. Then you will have a window of some sort. You might have one of those windows where you've got a little, you know, ledge where you can put a plant pot. So the other thing, on my Creative Gardener YouTube channel, I'll be sharing about herbs and herbs and plants that can help boost your immune system. It's not a cure-all. You still have to, you know, socially distance yourself. You still have to make sure you're keeping yourself healthy. But these are things that will kind of keep you, I was going to say ticking over, but it's not that. It's, you need to keep your health up. You need to be eating well. You know, it's not a time to be eating loads of processed food and things like that. It's a time to see where you can naturally grow things that will boost your immune system, and therefore make it harder, because you're more healthier, to be susceptible to illness. And as I say, it's not going to stop you potentially from getting it, but you stand a better chance if you're more healthier, if, you know, you're not deficient in iron or vitamin D or whatever. And that's why going out and just going out in the sunshine, where you've got sunshine now, my neck hurts. But yeah, just to be as healthy as possible. So I'm going to leave it there, and as I said, I've shared quite a bit in which you know you can do. The next art video will come out. I'm doing a review on Friday on some pastels, so I'll also put links to the videos that I did creating the 100 pastel portraits. I did a series where I did 100 pastel portraits, and I used around 5 different pastels, hard pastels, soft pastels from different brands. And yeah, let's kind of again stay connected, and if I'm feeling it, then I'll do I'll see about the live. As I said, I really want to focus on getting the videos, editing the videos, and getting them uploaded so that you've got a regular routine. This is part of your regular routine, to tune in to see some of the videos and just connect online. And you're always welcome to, you know, come to either my Facebook page or, you know, connect with me on Instagram, send me a message, leave a comment. Make sure you're signed up, and you'll always be notified. Hit the notification bell. You'll always be notified when I do a new video. So take care for now. I'm gonna get on, and yeah, see you soon.